The debate over climate change in Washington really has nothing to do with science. It has everything to do with campaign contributions, with profits, and with politics. When you have 99% of scientists agreeing that climate change is real, that it is man-made, that it is already causing devastating harm in our country and around the world, the scientific debate is over. The real issue that we have to address is politics and the power of the fossil fuel industry. Rather incredibly, it appears that the oil companies, the coal companies, and the gas companies are prepared to destroy this planet in order to protect the billions of dollars in profits that they make. Our job, therefore, is two-pronged. First, we have got to demand that the Congress of the United States does what the American people want and what our planet requires, rather than cater to wealthy and powerful special interests in the fossil fuel industry. Secondly, we need to come up with a process by which we transform our energy system away from fossil fuels into energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Very recently, as you know, a group of internationally renowned scientists, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, came together to analyze thousands of scientific studies on climate change. Based on those studies, they released a report that tells us that the action we need to take in order to address climate change, quote, has no historic precedent. No historic precedent. What they said is that we have 12 years, and 12 years is not a lot of time, to bring the countries of the world together to stop the worst impacts of climate change. In other words, unless we take bold and drastic action, what they are telling us is that the world we will leave for our kids and grandchildren will be in much worse shape than the world we live in today. And that is something we must not allow to happen. What the scientists are talking about is an increase in extreme weather disturbances, something that we have seen a lot of recently, more droughts, more floods, more crop failures, increasing hunger and illness, more acidification of the oceans, more rising sea levels, extinction of species, and national security crises when hundreds of millions of people are forced to flee their own communities and migrate elsewhere in order to find the food and the water they need to survive. The very bad news is that we have a president and Republican leadership who reject science and cling to the absurd notion that climate change is not real, or that if it is real, it is not caused by human action, or if it is caused by human action, it's not something that we can or should do much about. In fact, Trump has recently embraced a conspiracy theory.
But the scientists who say it's worse than ever.
You'd have to show me the scientists because they have a very big political agenda.
No, Mr. President, they do not. As climate scientist Dr. Catherine Hayhoe said, quote, a thermometer isn't Democrat or Republican. It doesn't give us a different answer depending on how we vote, end quote. The bad news, of course, is that we have political leadership in this country today that is in bed with the fossil fuel industry. The good news, however, is that solving the climate crisis will not only save the planet, which is of some minor importance, I suppose, but will actually create significant economic benefits through lower fuel bills, millions of good-paying jobs, and improved public health as we cut pollution. Let's be clear. Sustainable energy and energy efficiency create more jobs than fossil fuels. In 2016, there were over 3 million jobs in sustainable energy and energy efficiency compared to only about 1 million jobs in fossil energy. Installers, manufacturers, and service technicians for solar are in such demand that in 2017, solar energy added jobs 17 times faster than the overall economy in the United States. In 2016, 1 in every 50 new jobs was in the solar industry, and these jobs pay higher wages than the national average. Further, with the price of sustainable energy plummeting, we can lower the cost of electricity for consumers and businesses, as well as the cost of transportation. In the coming months, I will be working with fellow senators to bring forth the most sweeping climate change legislation ever introduced in the Senate. We are in a crisis moment, and we need unprecedented legislation in order to address the unprecedented crisis that we face. Please remember, this fight over climate change is not just for our generation. More importantly, it is for our children and our grandchildren and future generations. It is for the future of this planet. It is a fight we cannot afford to lose. Thank you very much.